Welcome to r/best of Redditor updates, where OP finds a picture of her mom in a random old person's home. Our next Reddit post comes from r/relationships. I work at a large facility where we take care of seniors that can no longer take care of themselves. It's not exactly a nursing home, as some of our residents have health issues or cognitive problems. Regardless of that, I love my job, and I work with people every day. I was recently reassigned to a new area with residents I'd never worked with before. In particular was a man that I'd never met before, but he seemed like a really funny guy. Both of his legs were amputated, and he has no real family left to take care of him. While putting him to bed, I saw that he had a small pinboard filled with pictures of what I assume is what's left of his family. Many of them are elders like him, except for one picture that contains my mother. I had to do a double take at first, as I didn't believe it at first. This picture is of the resident and my mother, very close, holding hands. It's definitely my mother, albeit a little younger. She looks to be in her 30s, whereas the resident looks a little younger, but not by much. Why is this such a big deal? I moved states over 7 months ago, and currently live in a northern state. My whole family is on the East Coast, including my mother. As far as I knew, no one in my family had stepped foot in this state ever before. Furthermore, I asked the resident if he had ever left the state and traveled. According to him, he's been here all of his life, as he never had enough money to leave. He has no cognitive issues, and I believe him wholeheartedly. The next part may upset some people, but I had to do this. I didn't want to randomly ask the resident about the picture, so when he finally fell asleep, I turned the picture over real quick, and sure enough, the picture had my mom's name and the resident's name along with the year. This meant that my mother was with this gentleman when I was 8 years old. At the time, she was married to my father and had been for some time. They're celebrating a long marriage soon too. What do I do? The picture is evidence of some sort of an affair. My mother traveled a lot during work before she retired. Do I tell my father? Do I ask the residents? They look really cozy in the picture. Then, 4 days later, OP posted an update. So, many of you agreed that I should probably bring up the picture nonchalantly. I decided to do that the next time I was able to take care of John. Last night was the night that I was assigned to take care of him, and I braced myself for the reveal. As I was putting John to bed, I looked at the pinboard and remarked what a great-looking amount of people were on it. John smiled as well and asked for me to bring him the board itself so that he could go over the people on it. John has been declining in health lately, but his mind is still quite fresh, so it's nice to see him remember his past life. As he went through each and every photograph, I smiled on the outside, but was absolutely dreading things on the inside. I knew he was slowly getting to the bottom, where my mom was, staring back at me with her signature smile. Once he got to her, he paused, sighed, and looked up at me. Ever lose someone you thought you could live together with? His voice was so cracked, like he was going to cry any second. I asked him how he met her and who she was, though I didn't care at this point. With the way he spoke about it, it would appear that my mother had indeed cheated on my father. John met my mother, Joan, years ago during a business conference. He was a contractor doing repairs on the facility the conference was held in, and my mother was there on business. They met, sparks flew, and she cheated on my father, apparently. I don't think John realizes he cheated with my mother. As soon as he was done explaining, I put him to bed with a fake smile, closed myself in the employee bathroom, and cried. I haven't cried like that in a long time. John told me their relationship ended when she left town after 3 days, but they continued to send letters back and forth for years. He still has them and they're somewhere in his room. I am heartbroken and drinking heavily tonight. How should I go about this? My mom and dad are well known in the community for their rock-solid marriage. This would absolutely kill my father. How do I clear my conscience, but not kill my parents' marriage? Unfortunately, there is no update after this, so we can only imagine. But OP, if I were in your shoes, I would definitely tell my dad. No doubt about it. Our next Reddit post is from r/legal advice. Last year, my 17-year-old sister dropped out of high school and came to live with me. I live in New York State, Albany. My mother is disabled by mental illness and in her condition was neglecting my sister and my adult brother that lived there. He's disabled with autism and was physically abusive towards both of them. According to the custody agreement in my mother and father's divorce, it was Dad that was supposed to be the custodial parent, and my mom was supposed to be paying him child support and getting weekend visitation. My sister lived with Dad and his then girlfriend, now wife, for about 3 years, and then sent her to live with Mom. However, Mom never got the support order changed, but worked out an agreement with Dad. She got to keep the Social Security income money that was my sister's benefit instead of it being forwarded to Dad for support, and he kept her on his health insurance. When my sister came to live with me last year, Mom told me she would send the benefit money on to me for taking care of my sister. She didn't. Dad kept her on his health insurance, but refused to pay anything towards her online high school course when asked, saying he didn't have any money to spare. So I'm paying it because she needs a high school education and it's only $50 a month. This year, my sister turned 18 and is almost finished with her online high school courses and has started looking for a job, but she's considering trade school. I am so proud of her. She'll be staying with me until she can afford to move out. My wife and I have agreed to that, and we have no problem with that. In New York, child support can be received up to age 21. So I filed a petition for child support for Mom and for Dad through New York State, and the county court here sent out notices for them to appear for a court date. Dad received his yesterday and called me up, asking why I was doing this to him. He told me I needed to drop the case because it was going to ruin him financially, and that technically what you did was kidnapping, because nobody asked him permission when my sister was moving from Connecticut to New York to live with me. When the court order still says she's supposed to live with him, but that it's low of me to bring him to court with child support. So my question is, do I need to worry about being arrested for kidnapping? Would I be better off dropping the child support case? Then, 1 month later, OP posted an update. So I had my day in court today for the child support hearing. Dad actually showed up for court instead of using the option of conference call like my mother did. My sister, Valerie, wanted to sit in the courtroom in case the judge had any questions for her in particular. I could feel my heart beating in my throat the entire time. The judge started out by saying he was unsure if a support order could be issued today, given that Valerie is now 18, and in Connecticut she would be ineligible. But in New York, she would be eligible until 21. But then the judge started asking some questions. Dad did a lot of the talking at first, mostly saying how he had a court order that gave him full custody of Valerie, and that Mom was supposed to be paying him child support. Then he said that Valerie dropped out of high school and left the state to live with me without telling him or getting his permission, and how he didn't know for a month after the fact. He complained that Mom never speaks to him about anything, that I made no effort to have a relationship with him, and that Valerie doesn't either. Boo-hoo, we're all ganging up on him, and he doesn't know what he did to deserve it. Sure enough, as a few of you kind folks mentioned, the judge asked him, "Why didn't you know where she was for a month if she was supposed to be in your custody?" My dad then says that she was staying with her mother at the time, but that she would have had a place with him and still does have a place with him if she'd asked. At that point, sick of hearing him play the victim, I piped up and asked as calmly as I could manage, "Why didn't she have a place with you 9 years ago when you dropped her off at Mom's house? Didn't you tell her that you weren't coming back for her and then got rid of all of her belongings?" My mother on the phone confirmed what happened and said that she asked me if I could take in my sister because of my brother's violent behavior in 2017. Valerie was 17 at the time, and she moved to New York State and is still attending high school to earn her diploma, and I've been her sole source of support ever since. The judge then reviewed the guidelines for monetary support. My mother, being disabled and on Social Security, was to pay no more than $50 per month for support. Dad was to pay no more than 17% of his income, which translated to roughly $800 per month. The judge asked me what amount I was looking for. My answer was that I just wanted some help with the groceries and her medical bills, so I asked for a total of $250 from Dad and the max of $50 from Mom. Dad tried to haggle me down to $200 per month because he just bought a house last year. You should have seen the look on the judge's face. The judge reminded him that the guidelines recommended $800 a month, and I held firm on $250. Dad sighed and said that he'll have to give up smoking to afford it. Like this is supposed to make me feel bad? The judge made the order for support effective until the age of 21. And I never did get in trouble for allegedly kidnapping my little sister. Thank you for everyone here that gave me encouragement to see this through and not fall for Dad's intimidation tactics. OP, why didn't you ask for the full 800? You deserve it. And so does your dad. He deserves to suffer. What a douchebag. Our next Reddit post comes from r/adultery. I'm great at being sneaky, but I also haven't seemed to need it because my wife works all the time and we have a great love life. So I would be shocked if she even suspected I was doing what I was doing. That's why I'm losing my mind right now. I came home from work yesterday, and usually my wife gets home about 30 minutes after I do. When I realized it's getting late, I called and got no answer. I check our room, and her things are gone. She left our house completely untouched, just took all of her clothes but left no note. I can't get in touch with her through phone, email, her friends won't answer. She must know, right? But why wouldn't she ask me? Who finds out and just leaves? Is it possible she doesn't know and left for someone else? Then OP posted an update. I finally talked to my wife this afternoon. I've been in our house since Thursday night by myself, pretty much clueless as to what was going on until her mother, who she has very little contact with, reached out to me. I was caught! I've been caught since March. My wife texted me today saying she'd intended to contact me through a lawyer and just let the divorce do the talking. But since her mother decided to contact me, she would answer any questions I had, if I desired to speak to her. Clearly, I did. I asked her why she stayed around after she knew and how she just lied to me like that. She said it wasn't her intention, but she shut down to figure out what she needed to do regarding our relationship and herself. At the end, she said something like she realized she still loves me, but doesn't respect me. And she said she thinks that I love her, but don't respect her either, so we should go our separate ways. She already got her job to move her to the city she's been asking me to move to for a long time now. And she said that she would like to sell me her half of the house if I want it, or if not, we can list it. But I guess our lawyers will handle that paperwork, and I still have no idea if I want our house without her in it. I asked for therapy, and she said that I should have asked for that when I realized I had impulse control issues. I've been drinking for 48 hours now. Sorry for the rant. I don't think it's losing her that's hurting, but rather losing like this. Down in the comments, OP is complaining about his wife. Okay, I could understand her leaving, but her leaving without a word is almost not human. Nothing badass about it. It's not who she is either. She's sweet, and that's why I love her. Her being cold like this is not going to make me want to respect her more. Okay, this guy is totally okay with lying and cheating on his wife consistently, but he draws the line at breaking up with someone in a cold fashion. What a monster his wife is. Have some heart for the poor, pathetic cheater. That was r/best of Redditor updates, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.